Hello there and welcome to this CS Watch video 015 where we are looking at CPU performance. So before we carry on watching this video, make sure you've watched video 012 which gives you background information on CPUs. It's helpful to make sure you know what's going on with it and that you understand some of the terminology we'll be using in today's video. So today we're looking at what can impact the CPU, specifically cache size, amount of cores, processor speed and overclocking. So, cache size impact CPU performance. This is covered in a previous video, but we'll just go over it now nice and quickly. The larger the cache size, the more room there is to store instructions. This means the CPU is more likely to find the instructions it's searching for. Whenever a CPU performs an instruction, a copy of it gets stored in the CPU cache. Think of it as the favorites bar in Internet Explorer or bookmarks in Google Chrome. It's where you put a link to something where you want to get to nice and quickly. That means it avoids the CPU having to request the information from the main memory. This takes a longer time than it would do normally. If we look at processor speed, a CPU speed can normally be measured in cycles per second, hertz, gigahertz, kilohertz, megahertz, terahertz. A clock speed of 700 hertz would mean 700 cycles per second. So obviously the more cycles per second you are doing, the faster it's going to be processing instructions, which means the faster the PC will be working. If we look at the amount of cores, a single core processor may run at 2 GHz, 2 billion cycles every second. That's good. But if we have a dual core processor, that runs at 2 times 2 GHz, which is 4 GHz per second. So we've seen that the core has increased, so it's doubled, which means that's increased as well. If we had a quad core processor, that runs at 4 times 2 times GHz, which is 8 times GHz in total. So you can see the amount of cores impacting the speed. The more cores you have, the faster the PC will run. And finally, if we have a look at the amount of cores here, we've got some nice little pictures here which I've stolen straight off of Google. If you have more cores, more traffic can be running. So you can see the image on the left hand side, traffic's flowing one way or another, single core. If you look at the image in the middle of the dual carriageway, there's 2 lanes, which means traffic can go faster. And then if you have a look on the motorway on the right-hand side, I believe that's a stretch of the M4 outside London. That means traffic can go faster because there's 4 lanes there, 4 routes of traffic. Overclocking is setting your CPU to run faster. So for example, we've got here, if you've got a processor that runs at 1.7 GHz, doesn't matter if it's single core, quad core, dual core, you can increase this to run at a faster speed. However, that leads to overheating, requires cooling. Overclocking is good because it can make your PC run faster, because it can increase the CPU speed, but because of that there's more heat generated, and if you've not got a way to dissipate that heat, that then means your PC could go kaboom. So here we have a few exam questions here. Feel free to click pause and give these a go, and then we'll look at some answers. And now let's have a look at some answers. I hope this video has been helpful for you. Feel free to comment if you've got any questions, and I'll see you in a future video. Goodbye.